SuperDtv with SuperDtv 3000. You will see who I'm with. We're asking him a few questions and get to know this guy a little bit. Lou, tell us when you started powerlifting, when it was the sport for you.
I started powerlifting in 1966 in November, right before I got drafted in the Army Forces.
And how much success did you have from 66 to, like, say, 70?
Well, I had small success. I learned to train through Rating Muscle Power Builder. That was my training partner at the old Westside Barbell Club in Culver City, California. And just by reading their articles, it established me as a powerlifter.
And tell us about that squat you had in 71, 72.
1973, before any gear came out, no knee wraps or wrist wraps or power belts. I did 630, squat at 180, 390 bench, and 670 deadlift.
And that's a big. And there was no training methods really to go by.
Now just Western periodization, which is a total downfall of training.
We could spend another all day on that one. Your reverse hyper, huge instrument in all our lives. Tell us how you came about figuring that one out.
Well, after pulling 670 in 1973, on the way back to Toledo, Ohio, I said my back's indestructible. A month later, I broke it doing good mornings. And so I was on crutches off and on for 10 months. I came up with the exercise late 73 or early 1974. And everything I did hurt my back. Back raising would kill me. When I would push my ankles against the support to raise my torso, it would kill my lower back. But I got to think, what if I did in reverse? So I jumped on the power rack with boards in it, hung my feet behind me, and I had no pain and a pump on my back. So then later on, eventually, we used it. By 1977, I was back pulling 710 to 195 pounds. And then when I was 57, I pulled 715 to 217. 63 to meet, I pulled 675 at 217. But in I decided to bring it out. No one had ever seen reverse hyper. So I brought it out and made a machine and actually ended up getting 5 United States patents. And the name reverse hyper is also trademarked throughout Europe and Canada as well as the United States.
And I've never heard one bad thing about it, other than where do you get one secondhand? And you can't. You know, never heard of my secondhand.
Last year, Rogue Fitness sells our machine as well as us. But we sold 400. This year is projected to sell 700 of one model.
Westside Barbell, it's been a tremendous help to everybody worldwide for many years. Is it gone to the direction that you wanted it to go originally back in the early 80s or whatever, when you started it?
Well, basically I started out as a powerlifter, learning how to powerlift. And when I fractured my lower back the second time in 1982, I realized I had to go a different direction. I went to all Soviet training, which totally changed my gym around. But at the same time, I realized there's more to lifting weights than just weights and exercise. There's spatial strength. There's science you have to apply to weights. And when I started doing it, I changed everything around. And then our notoriety started to grow and grow. We're huge in rugby overseas. Most NFL, anyone who uses bands, chains, trains by percent, sets on a box, use boards, are doing Westside. A lot of people doesn't know.
The female track athletes you've trained.
I trained Mo Robinson when she was here. She's Olympic gold medalist. I trained Butch Reynolds, Olympic gold medalist, world record holder. And currently I work a little bit with Jessica, Evil Eye, ranked high in the 125 MMA. And so we train male, female. Of course, Laura Phelps, who's running the camera, is the greatest pound-for-pound female of all time in this. And also Dave Hoff is the greatest pound-for-pound male powerlifter of all time. And we intend on getting the highest wall record pound-for-pound with a new member, Pearly Hawk. Remember that name. And we're going to establish, and this gym also has a 63.5-inch box jump.
Right. And that's tremendous.
That's right. So we're known for absolute strength, but jumping is explosive power. That's the other end of the force relationship.
You have a lot of people that believe in you and believe in the Westside project. Now, where do you want Westside to go for the future?
We had to break more records. You can't sit on your laurels. When I would speak, which I can't travel anymore because of injuries, but I was always proud of the fact that my resume was never up to date because we constantly break records.
Right.
I did a resume a couple years ago in New Jersey, and I mentioned that fact. And then when I went back to speaking later in the evening, A.J. Robertson called me and told me he broke his total record by 100 pounds. And exactly what I meant. We constantly get better.
Have you enjoyed all the friends that you've made over the years through Westside everybody's so thankful to you for what you've done. How do you take that?
I take it in stride. I try to keep my ego down. but I would never met you, I'd have never met Laura. All my friends and memories are Westside Barbell. And Johnny Parker, Johnny is the supreme strength coach in the NFL, 4 Super Bowl rings. I have many people come here all over the world to see us, and you know, and actually, I feel more privileged for them to visit me than they do to visit me. I feel I'm the privileged one. The Russian speed skating team strength coaches come to visit me, gave me a pair of Russian shoes. I have the Power of the Ukraine. They presented me in New York in 2007 by the Ukrainians. These things mean a lot to me. I wrote a book review for Dr. Verkhoshansky. Unfortunately, he had died, and his daughter asked if I was still writing. I said, of course. So I feel very privileged for him to ask me to write a book review. He's the greatest explosive power trainer of all time.
And also you put this into a physical thing. So you sell equipment, not just reverse hyper, but a ton of equipment that I think would be great in weight rooms in the strength football universities and high schools. How would they get that if they just go on WestsideBarbell.com?
WestsideBarbell.com. I have the greatest hamstring developer of all time. Its name is inverse curl. I have a hip developer that opens up the hips for athletes. The belts, and those are patented items. I have a plyo swing that's patented, tremendous for jumping. Belt squats. Just remember, walking in a belt squat will make anyone jump or run faster or squat or deadlift more.
I hope they hear this, and I hope they start putting more strength into their program instead of just how fast they can get kids in and out of it.
Right. Well, you know, when you go to college, they recruit for speed and quickness. Well, they have speed and quickness. Work on what you don't have. Work on absolute strength.
Right. And I see that missing a lot today in athletes.
Yes.
Well, Luke, thank you for this interview. Hey, anything you would like to say to the future powerlifters out there, male, female, whoever, raw, gear, doesn't matter. What's your advice to them?
My advice is to unite just lifting in general. You'll never unite the federations. There's too many. Everyone has their ideas. But raw lifting and power, you know, I lifted raw for years before gear, and you know, we're sponsored by Anzer Products, for instance. And so we feel obligated by using Anzer gear because they sponsor us, so we should represent them well. And so if you lift raw, doesn't matter to me. If you lift gear, doesn't matter. It's a whole different ball game. But like AJ Roberts said, for high risk, you get high rewards.
Man, yeah. Well, who wins your award for the most weight gained in their career?
I think Donnie Thomas sitting here.
I had to
220 pounds up to about 385.
I had to get that in. Thank you, Luke, for everything and everything you've done for us.
Thanks. You too.